So we're now learning about a Pennsylvania woman who suddenly collapsed and died in her hotel room at the same all-inclusive resort. A Maryland couple was found dead in their room. According to reports, Miranda Schaup-Werner had arrived in the Dominican Republic on May 25th. She was getting situated in her room when she had a drink from the minibar in her hotel room when she suddenly collapsed and died. The Allentown, Pennsylvania woman was 41 years old. And it's very interesting because Miranda's cause of death has been listed as respiratory failure and pulmonary edema, or fluid accumulation in the lungs. This is the same cause of death as the Maryland couple who passed away just days after Miranda Schaup-Werner. Well, new reports are now stating that Miranda actually passed away from a heart attack and not respiratory failure and pulmonary edema as previously reported. They were saying that her husband did confirm that she had a history of heart problems, but I've read conflicting reports where they state that her husband said that she was healthy. And it's also been reported that Miranda's death occurred at the sister resort of the resort that Cynthia Day and Edward Nathaniel Holmes was found dead in their hotel room. So I find that there are a lot of conflicting reports and a lot of inaccuracies being reported. There was some people in the comment section of my last video and the video before that where they were extra critical, borderline disrespectful about people and creating conspiracy theories. But I don't think it's about a conspiracy theory. I definitely think it's important that we question everything people tell us. A lot of the times they feed us information, they feed us false information, and we accept it because we want to be fed and we want to be satisfied. So we're willing to consume anything that's given to us. And I think that we are in a time now where people are questioning, and I think it's a wise thing to do, everything that's told to them. You can't believe everything that's said. And I really do believe that under these circumstances, it's fair to question the validity of the information that is being given to us. I welcome everyone to share their thoughts. I welcome everyone to share their experiences that they had in the Dominican Republic, because people are dying. People are staying at that hotel and they are dying. And I really think that when we open up a forum and have a open discussion about our experience in the Dominican Republic, our experience traveling, we could save lives. We can seriously help each other make better travel decisions so that we can have quality experiences while traveling. So one woman shared her story in the comment section on one of my videos. She expressed that she stayed at the same exact resort that the Maryland couple passed away in. She stayed at that same resort back in January 2019, and the air conditioning in the room made her very sick. She said that her sister and her sister's husband also had a room, and they complained about coughing. They had to go to front desk and complain that the air conditioning was making them cough. Now, this woman goes on to say that she was so ill that when she got back home, she had to go to the ER and ended up having severe respiratory problems. Hello? She said she had the worst flu symptoms that lasted over 2 months. She was put on steroids and antibiotics. She said she had severe vertigo for 6 days, and vertigo is something that she's never had in her life. She couldn't even walk. She was attending a nursing program and had to take off a medical emergency leave because she couldn't walk. I am so saddened that you had to endure such a traumatic experience, but I'm grateful that you pulled out of it. You are doing much better. I'm so thankful to hear that, and I just really want to thank you for sharing your comment, because this is like a lesson. This is maybe something that could help me and other people who have seen your comment, and when they do go to a resort or any hotel, even an Airbnb that has air conditioning, maybe this is something that we could look out for. And if we enter a room and the air conditioning makes us sick or something like that, and we begin to cough, we could probably even ask for a different room. So it's definitely something to look out for, and that's why I'm grateful that we have these open discussions so that people can share their stories and we can learn from other people's experiences so that we don't have to go through such traumatic ordeals. And shout out to Wisdom Kiss, who sent me a private email. I really appreciate you trusting me with your story. I did get her permission to share the story with everyone, and she was very concerned about the Maryland couple specifically who passed away, because we're just learning about Miranda from Pennsylvania and her experience at the same hotel. But when she saw my video about the Maryland couple, Cynthia and Edward, who passed away, she was very concerned because she had an experience where she was exposed to the Legionella bacteria after using a hot tub with contaminated water. She got flu-like symptoms several days after she was exposed to the bacteria. She was fighting for her life. 5 people were exposed to the same bacteria and entered the hospital, and Wisdom's Kiss was the only one who left the hospital alive. Wow, guys. She said she died from drowning in the fluids that filled her lungs, and all of her organs shut down. She was in a coma for 3 weeks after they brought her back to life. It took them almost 10 minutes to bring her back to life. She was diagnosed with Legionnaire's pneumonia. She had flu-like symptoms, vomiting, headache, body ache. She couldn't eat after 3 days from the exposure, and all she wanted to do was sleep. Now, we don't know if Legionnaire's disease is the cause of Cynthia and Edward's ultimately succumbing to respiratory failure and pulmonary edema, but their story is definitely triggering for some who experience respiratory issues while traveling. I'm sending love and light to Wisdom's Kiss. Thank you for sharing your story with us. It is truly a blessing that you survived and are able to touch lives by sharing your experience. Thank you so much. I wanted to go and read some of the symptoms of Legionnaire's disease. So some of the symptoms of Legionnaire's disease usually develops 2 to 10 days after exposure to Legionella bacteria. It frequently begins with the following signs and symptoms: headache, muscle pain, chills, fever that may be 104 Fahrenheit, 40 Celsius or higher. And then by the 2nd or 3rd day, you'll develop other signs and symptoms that may include cough, which may bring up mucus and sometimes blood, shortness of breath, chest pain, gastrointestinal symptoms such as nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, confusion, or other mental changes. I also want to go over how the Legionella bacteria is spread. And it says this might be the spray from a shower, faucet, or whirlpool, or water dispersed through the ventilation system in a large building. Outbreaks have been linked to a range of sources, including. So is there a crisis going on in that hotel right now? Is there an outbreak that 3 people possibly can have been affected by the Legionella bacteria? It says most people become infected when they inhale microscopic water droplets containing the bacteria. And here are some of the sources: hot tubs and whirlpools on cruise ships. So cruisers, be careful. Be careful. So it's not just these all-inclusive resorts that have these issues. We've heard many stories of like the norovirus and things of that nature on cruise ships. Cruise ships are also not the safest places to be. Grocery store mist machines. So when you go to the grocery store and you see your fruits and vegetables being sprayed with that mist, if that water is contaminated and you happen to be walking by and you take in that water, you can contract the Legionella bacteria. It says cooling towers in air conditioning systems. Also on the list where outbreaks have been linked to these sources is decorative fountains. So even when you see those water fountains in the resorts, those beautiful fountains, the mist from those fountains, if that water is contaminated with the Legionella bacteria, if you inhale that mist and the water's contaminated, it can affect you. You see fountains like that at museums. You see them at the resorts. You see them in parks in front of buildings and stuff. So be careful with that. You can get it through swimming pools, physical therapy, water systems in hotels, hospitals, and nursing homes. Complications from Legionnaire's disease can lead to a number of life-threatening complications, but on the top of the list, they have respiratory failure. And this occurs when the lungs are no longer able to provide the body with enough oxygen or can't remove enough carbon dioxide from the blood. According to the police in the Dominican Republic, no toxicology report was done as part of the cause of death inquiry, nor was Miranda Schaup-Werner's glass and drink tested. But in the case of Edward Nathaniel Holmes, and Cynthia and Day, Their death appeared suspicious to the Dominican Republic police, so they're doing a further investigation, especially since Holmes complained of chest pains the day he died, but he refused to see the doctor that was called for him. So we just have to wait things out and see what plays out in the media. The Dominican Republic is getting a very bad rap. I hope they're able to do damage control while being honest about what's happening to tourists in their country. I welcome all comments, even those that go against my views. I am open and ready to hear what everyone has to say. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know if you are familiar with Legionnaire's disease. Are you planning to travel to the Dominican Republic and now have doubts about continuing with your trip? Your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to hit that like button. Follow me on Instagram. Safe travels. Go over to shopmissmj.com where you'll find everything from beach towels and sunglasses to plus size swimwear. Perfect for your next island getaway. That's shopmissmj.com. If you are in the New York City area, definitely check out Island Soul and Sweets BX. There are so many amazing seafood dishes, including snow crab legs and lobster tail. You'll also find great soul food dishes and delicious sweets. That's Island Soul and Sweets BX. Bring the passion back into your bedroom by visiting roxyafterdark.com.